Welcome to the show that takes up no more than 5 minutes of your time, but could help you gain massive real estate knowledge. It's 5 Minutes in Real Estate with best-selling author Shane Willis.
Hello, it's Shane Willis, Pensacola real estate expert, bringing you today's episode. Today's going to be a little bit of a rant because I've had something on my mind, and well, it's my podcast, so I can talk about what I want to. There's a lot of new agents coming back into business, and I say back because I've seen agents say, well, I've been in this business for 15 years because I got in the business in 2003. And so I've been in the business in 15 years. And I always ask the question, I say, okay, how did you do between 10 and say 14, 15? Well, I got out of the business to try some other things real quick, but now I'm back, I'm ready to go. Well, that doesn't mean you've been in the business for 15 years. That means that you were in the business when the good times were there. You left when the bad times showed up. And now you're back because good times are back again. So what are you going to do when that real estate cycle happens again? But that is less of a question because I don't think that we're going to have a downside to real estate for at least, all the economists can only go about 5 years out. I don't think we're having anything close to it. Is it going to slow? Yes, we've talked about that. Does that mean that we're going to have a downside? Nah, I don't think so. But what that does tell me is that does talk to some people's character. Now, full disclosure, I owned a mortgage company in 2008, January is when I sold it. It's done. It's finished. I did leave the industry for about 8 months, 9 months, and ran a finance company. Still stayed in finance, but ran a finance company for automobiles. Then came back because, well, this is kind of like the mafia. What else am I going to do? And guess what? During that 8 months, I still sold 3 houses. Part-time. So I was still kind of in the business, but I think I took a break. I had burned the candle at both ends. I didn't leave for 4 or 5 years. There's a huge, huge difference for that. But what really irks me is that just goes to show some of the characters that we're dealing with now in this industry. And I do have this conversation with a lot of my clients, is that I always put my clients ahead of my paycheck. It's not always the case. And I can prove it. I have a case this year. I have a file this year. I represented a buyer. The listing agent made a mistake. I'll be honest, it was a mistake. She made a mistake. She forgot to check a box. She forgot to put one thing on a counter. And it was going to cost her about $2,300 to fix the mistake. Now, she said, I can't have my sellers pay that because it was my mistake. I get it. 100% get it. I've made that mistake before. That's why I don't make the same mistake again. Because I've had to write the check. I've had to show up to a closing where my commission check was $3,000, but I was having to write a check for $5,000. So I'm having to pay $2,000 for a mistake. Guess what I didn't do? I didn't back out of that closing. I didn't find a way to wiggle out of that closing. Instead, I owned up to my mistakes and put my client's needs in front of mine. This particular agent, on the other hand, as day 31 hit, they sent us a cancellation. They sent us a cancellation saying that we did not deliver a loan commitment, although the loan was cleared to close. We didn't deliver a full loan commitment, which was basically technical. It was a technical default. And so they're backing out of the contract. We have no more contract. Which was fine if they had a backup contract and the seller could close in a week. Because we were ready. They literally sent this on a Monday. We were ready to close on Friday. But they didn't have a backup. The property sat on the market for another 75 days, and then was under contract for almost 40 days before they closed again at the exact same price that we were at. Causing her client, instead of her eating that money, $2,300, causing her client, I could only guesstimate, because I don't know their interest rate, but I can guesstimate that their mortgage payment was somewhere between $1,000 and $1,300 a month. They had to pay that at least 3 more times, if not 4. So causing her client, we'll just say 3, and we'll just say $1,200. Causing her client to spend an additional $3,600. just to turn around and sell it again so she wouldn't have to pay out of her pocket the $2,300 that she messed up and needed to pay. And it just irks me. I can't tell you how many agents that I'm working with even now. Some of the buyer's agents that I've got for some of my listings. They're working. Honestly, you just get this sense. They need the deal to close more than the buyer does. Excuse me, or more than the seller does. It's like, this is how I'm going to eat. And I understand being hungry. I get that. But you really need an agent who's going to put your best interest in front of that paycheck. Because can you imagine if that person is depending on this closing to make their next house payment? And something comes up that'll wind up costing you as a buyer or you as a seller $500. Do you think they're going to have your best interest at heart? Probably not. It's probably going to wind up going their best interest, their pocketbook. It was funny. I wrote one of these. I said, you need to be having to have an agent that knows the trends, knows the markets, but is going to put your interests first. If you've not seen Phil Dunphy from ABC's Modern Family, he's got that agent, and he actually wrote something. And it was written as a comedy, but I kind of liked what he'd written. It said, in one episode, he even shared an oath that he created and holds himself accountable to. Here's the oath. On my honor, I promise to aid in man's quest for shelter, to recognize I'm not just in the business of houses, I'm in the business of dreams in the shape of houses, to disclose all legal additions, shoddy constructions, murders, and ghosts, and to put my clients' needs before my own. Of course, like I said, that was written as a comedy. But seriously, if I've had people say, well, we're hiding this or removing that, and I know that you're not doing that you're not putting your client's interest in front of your own. Now, can I verify ghost? I don't know. I had a foreclosure once that, a big house, like 8,000 square foot house as a foreclosure. When I walked into this massive living area, scratched into the wall were the words, get out. Scratch into the wall, literally into the paint, into the drywall. I almost advertised the property as haunted, just because I think an 8,000 square foot place haunted in this area would probably bring out specific buyers. Now, if we were a few miles west of us over in New Orleans, I'm sure it would bring out some buyers. Can I verify the ghost? Probably not. Not unless we're trying to sell the Pensacola Lighthouse on the Navy base, and I don't think that's for sale. John, my good buddy over there, runs that. I'm pretty sure that's not for sale. Can I disclose everything else? Absolutely. And I know I'm going to get asked questions about murders, especially if somebody, or deaths in a house, especially if somebody does know the law here. The law in the state of Florida says that's not a disclosure. It's not something you disclose because it stigmatizes a house. I still think I'll probably do it. I'll probably, if I know about it, obviously, if the seller doesn't tell me, or if the seller doesn't know, then, well, there's that. But that's off topic. That's more the comedy side of me coming out. What I'm trying to tell you is you need an agent that's going to put stuff in front of their own pocketbook. They're going to, if you don't have more than one deal working, then you're going to make decisions that affect the buyer or the seller that you're working with that could negatively affect them. Just like my example earlier, that listing agent should have just eaten the difference and moved on. The problem was she was probably only making $2,500. So it would have wound up doing it for free. But instead, she cost her client anywhere from $3,600 to $5,000. That put her pocketbook in front of her clients. That's a no-no. All right, that's all I got for you today. As always, if you're not subscribed to get the tips, tricks, graphs, infographics, get over to 5minutesinrealestate.com. That's 5minutesinrealestate.com. Also, if you're not subscribed to the Player of Choice, I did get announced yesterday, or an email yesterday, that we are on Stitcher now. So I think they're going through the process of uploading all the episodes, but I did spot about 20 of them on there. I probably need to look and figure out where we are. I think we're at 120 something, 120, 130 something. Anyways, I just do this on a regular basis, so I kind of forget where we are. But we are on pretty much all the Players of Choice that I know of. If you know of an extra one, let me know. But get over to your Player of Choice, hit subscribe, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, give me a like, give me a nice comment. I'll be doing trolls. Yesterday's trolls comment, I noticed somebody found the YouTube video where the person was talking about how I was wrong and commented right to him going, okay, well, I'm going to give this idiot a chance to answer. Maybe he's a realtor and knows something. And the troll never answered. So that's kind of fun. I don't know. It's the little things, guys. It's the little things. Finally, I end the episode always the same way. I don't ask for any money for doing this. I do, however, ask that if I brought you value in this or any other episode, that you share it on social media. Make sure you have someone working for you that puts your interest in front of their own. Have a great day.